When we think of automobiles, we think of passion, sportiness, and emotion. And yet, when we look out on the street, there's no sportiness, no passion, and very little emotion. The statistics paint an even grimmer picture. For the past decade, SUVs have dominated sales rankings, accounting for half of all new cars sold in Europe this year. Nevertheless, 800,000 units were registered in France last year. 43% of French people believe SUVs are a fleeting fad, while a third think they're a means to flaunt or attract attention. And 1 out of every 2 French people surveyed say they support limiting the sale of these vehicles. So, how can these overweight vehicles, which put on a fake adventurer look just to drive around the city, be so successful? Why are automakers offering more CVTs in their lineup despite car enthusiasts and the public seeming to dislike them? If you also think that SUVs are lame and that their sales numbers aren't justified. Let me explain what you've missed about the success of SUVs. To understand the sport utility vehicle phenomenon, you at least need to take a quick look at its history. If you want to go into detail, there are many well-made videos on the subject. Since I believe my channel's audience already has good car knowledge, we'll briefly cover the context. The sport utility vehicle is derived from the four-wheel drive, and four-wheel drives, or vehicles with four-wheel drive, have been around for a long time. Initially reserved for dirt roads, professionals, or special forces, four-wheel drives gradually built their image as vehicles capable of anything. The car that can get you out of the worst situations, the car you can live in short, the one that will take you to the ends of the earth. If you have an unconventional lifestyle, an outdoor job, or an adventurous soul, this all-terrain vehicle is made for you. Each decade has its signature vehicle. For the 1990s, the minivan was the most popular among the general public. The new format is practical, comfortable, and innovative, making it a hit with families. You know the rest. Minivans take the prize, but manufacturers still double their efforts to make their big four-wheel drives attractive. Through experimentation, SUVs are slowly developing a more mainstream and less cliched image. Military vehicle for navigating rough terrain. For a few years, it doesn't gain much popularity. The minivan still largely dominates, holding nearly 20% market share. As the century ends, this body style, introduced by Renault in Europe in 1984, could have remained the standard for an extended period. As the 2000s begin, the new millennium brings many questions and growing uncertainty in the world. Y2K, bug population growth, globalization, and security concerns. With regional conflicts and tensions between nations, there was plenty to worry about, right? Moreover, a globally significant event took place that starkly embodied this shift in atmosphere. The September 11, 2001 attacks on the World Trade Center in New York. The tragedy shocked the world and raised security concerns in Western countries. It was a real shock at the time. In just one day, an event dramatically altered our worldview. YouTube seems to dislike discussions on this subject, so we'll keep it brief. The United States is attacked and retaliates militarily. We're in the era of the explosion of live news overnight. All the 24-hour news channels broadcast images of the war, live on television. The four-wheel drives used in the field are idealized as symbols of strength and security in the collective unconscious, which is particularly lacking in these troubled times because this type of vehicle perfectly fulfills the public's deep expectations. Car makers who meticulously analyze sales data by vehicle categories will capitalize on this to design their upcoming models. Given the public's acceptance, leading to the surge of four-wheel drives, the business opportunity is too good to pass up. Thanks to its tough technical image and the feeling of safety it provides on the road, the famous utility vehicle signals a higher added value. So it can be sold at a higher price. But to match the real lifestyle of urban buyers in today's world, manufacturers will retain the adventurer look but remove several technical qualities such as off-road capability. This marks the creation of modern SUVs. The huge advantage for car brands is that they can project an image of toughness and quality. So they can charge high prices but without making the equipment more complex. As a result, manufacturing costs remain reasonable compared to the selling price, significantly boosting profit margins. You can quickly realize this by configuring a car online, one of my favorite activities. The only difference between a regular Audi A1 Sportback and the A1 All-Street is some plastic above the wheel arches and a €4,000 higher price tag. So obviously the Audi A1 All-Street is not a sport utility vehicle. This example illustrates selling at a higher price because the car looks tougher, despite not actually being so. The sport utility vehicle's higher selling price, slightly elevated ground clearance, and massive stance provide a new, very useful advantage. As we're encouraged to go all electric, it provides ample space to conceal batteries in the floor. The European Commission is using its full power to boost the electric car market and replace existing cars through subsidies. And that the range of electric cars is a very important buying criterion. We can bet that manufacturers will continue to offer SUVs as the format will undoubtedly persist. Morris Garages, an iconic English roadster brand known for small sports cars, has completely abandoned its sporty DNA during its revival. Since its 2005 bankruptcy, Rover's catalogue no longer includes low, light, sporty cars or genuine four-wheel drives. The brand now primarily offers urban SUVs, mostly electric. So even if an iconic brand like Morris Garages denies its origins to please this trend, it's easy to be pessimistic and think the automotive landscape is doomed, but the reign of SUVs may not last. Four-wheel drives and SUVs have become hugely successful commercially, largely due to their robust features and the sense of security they provide. In 2023, owning a sport utility vehicle still holds psychological significance in our society, as it is seen as a status symbol. Everyone wants to impress their neighbor, but actually, you bought yourself a Tiguan, which is a very good thing in itself, but that doesn't make you a bad boy, just because you take up more space on the road. End of the digression? Meanwhile, rising car prices and worsening urban traffic continue to contribute to this success, because the general public likes being higher up on the road and feeling protected. Owning an expensive car comes with the expectation that it won't get damaged easily, even if you park it poorly the first time. So, if we only take this safety aspect into account, we can assume that the popularity of SUVs isn't going to stop anytime soon, since safety is still such an important buying factor. It's a fundamental human need. And we can't really say that people have a lot of confidence in the future right now, or that the world seems to be getting any safer. The sport utility vehicle's adventurous appeal could lead to its downfall. Despite its popularity, we must be objective at times. Admit that a sport utility vehicle is similar to a sedan or station wagon, but raised and heavier. However, weight adversely affects performance, particularly in terms of speed, fuel consumption, and ecological efficiency. A topic that's becoming more and more important for the general public in our time. So, the environmentalists, who have decided that the car is their sworn enemy, have managed to invent a whole new tax for us. Well, yes, since taxes are the solution to all problems, ladies and gentlemen, the tax on vehicle weight. Since 2022, for every car over 1,800 kilos, you pay 10 euros for each additional kilo. With the goal of stopping the frenzy of heavy vehicles, an ecological penalty of up to 40,000 euros can be imposed on certain models. Considering the impact on the planet, I suggest halting the tax frenzy, but that's a separate discussion. History is in motion. Heavy cars must disappear. Despite the industry's significant efforts to improve model efficiency, this initiative will severely impact SUVs. Who is the ideal culprit to eliminate in order to reduce pollution in the city? By the way, in a France that struggles with inequalities, the fact that SUVs are bigger cars, which cost more. A vector of social status, an outward sign of wealth. The decreasing acceptance of it fuels the determination of those seeking to ban them. You may have noticed this trend. A new trend is sweeping across Europe as people attempt to reduce their reliance on automobiles in cities. Madrid has strict traffic reduction measures, while some roads in Brussels are completely closed to motor vehicles. In France, cities like Lille, Dijon, Strasbourg, and Paris have numerous examples. Many cities have implemented stricter regulations, including pedestrian-only zones. We discussed the growing number of bike lanes, which are making cities a nightmare. For drivers, cars are no longer welcome, and our sport utility vehicle, with its extra weight and muscular build, will soon lack the room to thrive there. Outside cities, people prefer sedans, station wagons, or true four-wheel drives over SUVs. They offer more space and comfort for long trips on highways or main roads. But the question we need to ask now, if the star of the market is destined to disappear, is who will replace it. Two major trends are taking hold in the automotive world and will deeply change the landscape in the coming years: electrification and automation. Electrification, where cars are fully electric, is particularly beneficial in cities due to short trips and abundant charging stations. On the other hand, batteries will not become radically more efficient. They are not made for long trips, out-of-town areas, or highways. On these major expressways, we are gradually witnessing the arrival of autonomy, where vehicles can drive themselves without driver assistance. Many are betting on fully autonomous driving arriving on our roads before 2030, as all manufacturers and suppliers are working towards it. The software is becoming more efficient, but it will only be fully effective once the entire network is autonomous, which clearly won't happen anytime soon. Regardless of their perfection, intelligent driving systems are less suited for the density and complexity of urban environments. So, we can bet that in the future, the automotive landscape will be split into two parts, depending on usage, and therefore into two types of vehicles. On one side, the absolute shame for all of us car enthusiasts. I'm discussing compact, lightweight, and quiet mini-urban vehicles that will adapt well to new city constraints. They will be there to transport people and deliver goods and essential services, such as postal or medical services. Design-wise, we must go for a yogurt cup style. It needs to be compact, no other option. The Citroën Ami, for example, is a good indicator of what might fill our cities in a few years, so don't go thinking that this makes me happy. On the other hand, ultra-connected autonomous vehicles will be like rolling lounges, allowing us to travel long distances comfortably without driving. Concept cars are increasingly showing us the future direction. We'll have bigger cars, similar to sedans or even minivans, to maximize interior space. And of course, with a design clearly developed to maximize aerodynamic efficiency. So in the end, where's the fun in all that? It's true that it seems like the automobile as we know it is on its way out, but there's still a community of enthusiasts, and those enthusiasts aren't going to disappear overnight. Ironically, the more we sense something we love is fading, the more driven we are to pursue it to keep our passion burning. In the end, driving noisy cars with soul could become an elite activity practiced by a minority, similar to the model of horseback riding. When cars replaced horses, riding became a hobby for enthusiasts on weekends on private property, similar to hunting today. As food has become abundant in our society, and we no longer need to hunt for sustenance, hunting has shifted from a common activity to one kept alive by a minority. Out of passion, to share a moment in a community and pass on values. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. For you, is the future of automotive passion about conforming to the new sanitized models that are coming to the market? Or is it about fighting to preserve driving, even if it's limited to private settings like tracks or closed roads during dedicated events? On one hand, there are a lot of people who are convinced that history is in motion and that the pleasure of driving will gradually disappear. On the other hand, some believe we must continue fighting and sharing our passion for cars to make it last over time. Personally, I've chosen my side. If you liked this video, subscribe to the channel. To ensure the algorithm detects your passion for cars and recommends more related videos, it's crucial. Until next time,